All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. And as we are getting ready for the start of a new college football season, I want to talk about the upcoming year in the Mid American Conference. Now, along with Conference USA, the MAC is the only league that has not yet had a participant in the college football playoff. Of course, last year we saw the American get their second participant, while the Sun Belt also got a participant in James Madison. And of course, 2 years ago, it was Boise. It's just the Conference USA and the MAC who are the only ones who have yet to get a participant. So you look at some of the top teams in this league, first and foremost, who I think are going to be in contention to win the Mid American. You look at Western Michigan, for an example. They won the MAC last year. Okay, they went 10-4 overall. They went 7-1 in league play. They won their final six of the season. And Western Michigan is looking to become the first repeat champion of the MAC since Northern Illinois all the way back in 2012, excuse me. But the Broncos' record has improved in each year under head coach Lance Taylor. He once again has a solid team. You look offensively at running back Jalen Buckley as well as wide receiver Balin Brooks. You've got a veteran offensive line for Western Michigan, which includes three seniors up front. Last year, the Broncos were 17th in the nation on defense, and I like their secondary with cornerback Javarius Sims as well as strong safety Joey Pope. Now, for Miami of Ohio, they are looking to get to Detroit for the MAC championship game for the fourth consecutive year. Of course, the last 2 years that the Red Hawks have gotten there, they have tasted defeat. In 2024, it was to Ohio, and last year it was to Western Michigan. But getting back to Miami of Ohio, no head coach has won more games at this school in regards to this football program than Chuck Martin. No relation. I like junior linebacker Malcolm McCain as one of the standout and impact players to keep an eye out this year for in regards to Miami of Ohio. Now, the Ohio Bobcats, will we see them make a push to win the MAC for the second time in the last 3 years? Former defensive coordinator John Hauser is now the man in charge for the Bobcats. He has to replace a ton of talent from last year's team, but he still has a pair of standout linebackers in Michael Molnar and Charlie Christopher. Central Michigan, will they be in the running for the MAC for the first time, to win the MAC rather, for the first time since 2019? Keep an eye out for wide receiver Langston Lewis. Things are going to look a little bit different this year in the Mid American. Northern Illinois is no longer there for football. They're in the Mountain West. So the MAC has replaced them with Sacramento State, who is more than happy to move up from the FCS level to the FBS level. Could we see some surprise teams this year in the MAC? You look at Eddie George and Bowling Green. He went 4-8 overall in his first year at Bowling Green. They went 2-6 within conference play. Will we see the Falcons improve and go out there and try to make a run at this thing? This is very interesting. A little tidbit I'm about to give you folks. In each of the last, looking at it here, bear with me for 1 minute. Yes, in each of the last 5 years, okay, at least one of the schools who has made the MAC championship game has been from the great state of Ohio. Let's see if it's going to be 6 years in a row, as far as who has a chance. I'm looking at this conference. I like Western Michigan to be in contention. Also, Ohio, Toledo. You have to keep an eye out for the Rockets. I think Miami of Ohio is going to be in that mix, as will be Central Michigan. UMass, I think they're going to be bringing up the rear again. Massachusetts is just not an FBS football program. That's just the bottom line. Sacramento State, I want to see how they adjust to the FBS level. Eastern Michigan and Buffalo, I think, are going to have a tough go at it, and I think the same could be said for Akron and Ball State. I think Bowling Green is improving, but I don't know if they're going to improve enough to be in contention. And I think Kent State is going to be in the middle of the road. But I think when it's all said and done, I think for the first time since 2012, we are going to have a repeat champion in the MAC, and I'm giving that nod um, to Western Michigan. Like so many of the other Group of Six school conferences, the MAC has taken a beating due to the transfer portal. They already lose their coaches to bigger schools, and now they're losing their players as well. But nonetheless, I still think the MAC is going to be very competitive this year. And when it's all said and done, I'm giving my nod to Western Michigan. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do, folks. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out anytime at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. And that also goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you are on Facebook, definitely be sure to check out the Sports Depot 365. And like I always say, it's one of the best sports debating platforms going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.